Into the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage, Peninah Malonza, former Deputy Governor, Kitui County, seems to be fitting in a new role pretty nicely. Good job, Madam CS, and Nisema kazi kwako.
Thank you.
A lot of work ahead.
I'll do it.
But you're ready.
Yes.
You're ready for the task.
Yes, I am.
A lot of people really inquiring about a lot of questions. We'll get to that in a moment. But you wanted to talk about World Wildlife Day.
Yes.
This coming Friday, March the 3rd.
Yes. This is a day that was declared by United Nations General Assembly in their 68th session in 2019. So they declared this day, 3rd March, to be the World Wildlife Day. And this will be our second celebration. Of course, we had the first one in 2020, but of course 2019. But because of COVID, we skipped 2020 and 2021. And so we have a tradition where we carry out a number of activities. And this year we're going to do 3 activities. First, we'll do what we call tembo naming. Elephant naming. Mm-hmm. And basically what this is all about is we have a person like you, Jeff, naming one elephant. It could be a baby elephant, it could be a young tusker, it could be a family, a number, elephants stay in families.
Correct.
So, but you name at a cost. Of course, a cost of 500,000. Not much, but we also have another category for the lower class. People will name at, of course, we have quite a number who have registered to name at 500,000, but we have another category that we are inviting, like our fellow CSCs, like somebody like you, to come and name a young elephant, a baby elephant, at 100,000. Mm-hmm. So this money will go towards conservation and, of course, getting things like water ponds done in the parks, in the national parks and boreholes. And this will take place in Boseli, near Oltukai. We plan to have the naming session done by the Maasai elders who will name. Of course, we'll have somebody like you who wants to name an elephant, and you can give it your name.
Jeff.
Yes. we had Dida, and we have Hamed.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
I remember Ahmed the elephant.
Yes.
Way back.
So those are elephants that are baby, they are named from their childhood. And so we want to have people come and name at a cost, but basically we want to also encourage some kind of relationship between humans and the wildlife. And therefore, you can relate to this elephant that you'll name, be it a baby elephant or a young tusker, and you can visit, you can monitor through online. Of course, we're going to upgrade to online, where you can monitor, you can visit. So basically, it's a whole thing of creating awareness and creating a world where the human beings can relate and stay together with the wildlife, just the way God created us, to live in this planet together with the animals.
Tell me something. Are you saying I'll be able, if it's me, I'll be able to keep track of that elephant? I will know where that elephant is going or where it...
Yes, you can ask about how the elephant is doing. And of course, elephants really move around, they roam a lot. And so we've seen that most of the elephants within our country roam all the way to Somalia, roam all the way to, of course, Tanzania. So we'll keep tracking it. And of course, no much roaming today, because all the corridors are close to majority of most of the corridors are actually now closed, so they can't roam around in long distances. So you'll be in a position actually to monitor your elephant, because we are going digital. We are collaring them, and you can monitor them. But of course, there's a history connected to this naming, because why we are using the elders to name is because they have lived in that community. vicinity, and especially the elephants in Amboseli. There's a research institute that has been in that park, and they have researched on the elephants, their behaviors and all that. So the elders will come in because they know their behaviors, and they will be able to narrate this kind of elephant or baby elephant that you're naming is destructive, is polite. They will give you the history and even the birthdays and all that. But of course, we'll be doing a second activity that day, of course, planting trees. And we know at this time in Amboseli is a bit dry. Of course, the rains have not started in Amboseli. So what we're doing, we're planting near Oltkai Lodge, where now we'll have our rangers and Oltkai management nurture those trees to maturity, because today we are talking about planting trees, but more so growing trees. And so we're plugging into the president's direction and call to plant 15 billion trees.
That's right.
And so we in wildlife and in my ministry, we're going to plant 1 million trees within the next within this year, of course. Of course, the final activity will be now the celebration of the World Wildlife Day with no more speeches and all that. But as we do the national one at Amboseli, then our conservancies are going to do their replica celebrations at their vicinities, and they can choose to do road shows, they can choose to use banners, they can choose to contextualize it the way they want. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Coming back to the temple naming ceremony, it's very interesting because I did a similar story in Rwanda, but they have a gorilla naming ceremony.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think that's where you get the inspiration.
Of course, no, there's one more country that is doing elephant naming, and I think it's either Zambia or Zimbabwe. There's one country that is doing that. Okay. So we're only 2 countries. But of course, if you look at the way we are naming our elephants, it's a bit more packed with a lot of information. And as you know today, Kenya is an authority in wildlife in Africa, but also in the globe. Yeah.
Tell me something. Speaking of coming back to tourism, you're talking about medical tourism. A lot of people are asking about sports tourism. Others are asking about urban tourism. For instance, in the cities like Nairobi, this expressway is a tourism attraction.
Yes, it is. Actually, going forward, we are going to do what we call product diversification. And basically what we mean by that is looking at the new niche products that we can actually pick and run with. Because, you know, for long in this country, we've sold beach and wildlife and our parks. But really, you can see there's a lot of change with the new generation of tourists that we are receiving. Because as I began by stating that if you look at the world population today, we have 65% of that population, the globe population, is young people. People aged between 18 and 35. Now, these people are no longer interested so much in the beaches. The wildlife, they can actually metaphase with the wildlife and they have it in their room. But we've realized that they're more interested in adventure, in sports tourism, of course in cultural tourism. And I'm very gracious, I'm very happy that the president saw it wise to bring culture to tourism. Initially it was tourism and wildlife, but now we have a package of culture now coming to tourism ministry. And actually, surprisingly, we've seen a lot of this young generation, they are attracted to adventure, to sports tourism, to gastronomy, and then, of course, to water sports, to be precise. And, of course, we are looking at this and diversifying our basket in terms of the products that we can sell.
Wonderful, wonderful. Look, you know this as much as I do. When we were growing up, if you wanted to go into the hospitality industry, you went to Utalii College.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It produced the best and the brightest and the most wonderful graduates.
Yes.
Who would then get into the hotel industry. And then for years it went down. It was in terrible condition. What's the state of Utalii College now? And also the new campus in Kilifi?
Well, I know Utalii was our premier college for hospitality in this country. And I can tell you, although it has gone down a little, I'm bringing it up to the level that it was before, because one of the challenges that I've realized with Utalii is the whole issue of curriculum, and I think is a whole issue around people not moving with time, especially in reviewing their curriculum. Because today, I realized that if you have to do a diploma in Utalii, you have to take 3 years. That's quite long.
Yeah.
And most of other diploma, institutions are actually, you take less time, like a year or 9 months. And so we are reviewing our curriculum, so that a diploma will take you probably 1.5 years or 1 year. And then, of course, we are introducing online, courses, refresher courses, because basically also so many universities came around at that time. Remember, when Utalii existed those days, no other university was actually teaching hospitality. Right. But we have seen quite a number of universities today are now teaching hospitality. And therefore, that was a competition, not that the leadership in Utalii needed to have noted and probably moved with speed. So what we are doing first, we are reviewing the curriculum so that we can give, short courses, but also looking at diploma not taking such long time, but also introducing refresher courses for hoteliers and those in the hospitality industry. And of course, online courses where somebody doesn't have to travel to Utalii. They can do the online course in their workspace, and they can still get certification. Of course, with the Ronald Gala, we have gone slow on it. Of course, when I came, it was on a slow mode, but we're finalizing the discussions so that we can complete it and so that it can benefit the people, not only in cost, but of course is a premier college that is actually to the level of a university. And so we're looking at seeing Ronald Gala, intake going all the way to Central Africa, to East Africa, and to South Africa. And surprisingly, when I came, I've been visited by quite a number of ambassadors. And I can tell you today, we have more than 5 countries that are going to send students to Utalii. Come September, I already have their requests.
From Africa?
From Africa.
Wow.
So again, it's the whole issue of marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole issue of marketing, because if the numbers keep on going down, then of course you don't have enough resources to run the institution. Yeah.
It's amazing that I'm sure you've been to Dubai or Doha in the Middle East. Most of the restaurants in Dubai and Doha, Kenyans.
Yes.
Kenyans.
Yes,
because they learned that hospitality right here.
In Utalii.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm telling you, Kenya has really exported quite a lot of labor out there, especially in the sector of hospitality. And I talked the other day, just a group walked in my office and they said that they've already recruited 250. They have a partnership with Utalii, which I didn't know.
Right.
And they've already taken 250, students from Utalii to UK.
Wow.
And I didn't know that we can export labor. And I think this is an eye-opening. We've always thought that we can export teachers to Seychelles, of course nurses. Now nurses to UK.
Yeah.
But then we are seeing other areas opening. Wow. Like now I have a request where being asked to send a few people who can do construction to UK. Also, I have a request for ECD teachers, you can imagine. So I think Kenya, if we strategically position ourselves, we are going to have a niche in exporting labor out of this country. And I think that's an area actually we can do very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And yes, the tweets are coming in very thick and very fast. So let me walk over to the magic wall and see what Kenyans and folks out there are saying. Lots of tweets coming in so thick and so fast. Nyantika Chester says, not only does human-wildlife conflict in areas around Tsavo and Maasai land, but also extends in lake basin regions where crocodiles and hippos have attacked and killed fishermen and other Kenyans who share water with wildlife. What is CS Peninah Malonza doing about this in this regard? The hippos and the crocodiles by the lake.
Yeah,
that's also a problem, huh?
That's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of claims also coming from our rivers and the water-rich regions. So we are also trying to manage, but we've also realized there's a lot of encroachment, that people are just farming next to the river, and sometimes the crocodiles come out, and But again, the other issue is the whole issue of water. Those are the same sources where people get water, and when they are fetching water, of course, they are attacked by the crocodiles. And what we are doing, we're working with the Ministry of Water in this area so that we can pipe water out of the rivers and out of the lakes so that we can protect our people. Nice.
Very good. Mushangi Wambogo says, what does CS think of one, the quality of human capital in Kenya's hospitality industry? I think you just mentioned that. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that. And two, many mushrooming training institutions, regulation necessary? Is regulation necessary for these mushrooming training institutions? You say there's many institutions, as I say, teach tourism and all, and hospitality.
Well, I don't think there are quite many, because today I only know of Boma, the Red Cross one, which is which has gone a little bit to the premier, level like Utalii. But I believe that is a world of competition, of course. But I believe regulation in terms of the quality should be formulated. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Rono 379 says, ask Madam CS on the laxity she is talking about in relation to shoot to kill law applied to poachers. Again, what's her take on ambiguity of laws and policies that hamper inclusive conservation? The shoot to kill law for poachers, is that still in effect?
No, of course, it's not very effective in the country. But of course, we have seen a lot of, because we're very vigilant in monitoring, we've seen a lot of, I think from 2020, we've seen only 18 cases of poaching. Oh. That's quite low from actually, I think, 213. That was very high. Yeah.
So it's gone down.
Yeah, and of course we are engaging a lot of security equipments that are monitor, and of course with our what you're calling the Duthi, the small helicopters, the one pilot helicopter. Yes. There's a lot of monitoring that we are doing.
You call them Duthis?
Yes, they call Duthi. That's what they told me.
It's like border.
Yes, it's actually you're open in the air, yes, so yes. It's a Duthi.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Joseph Kanjake says, hi, Jeff. Ask Waziri about the future of Nairobi National Park. Good question. It's a double-edged sword. The park is visited a lot, thus bringing revenue to the country and county. But infrastructure development and many other factors have led to human encroachment. It's the only national park in a capital city in the world, right?
Yes.
But like he said, Joseph said, it's a double-edged sword because, there's so many buildings surrounding it and the growing and the encroachment.
Yes, I know. First, let me respond on the issue of the infrastructure that we are actually today, I had a discussion on that because we've been doing maintenance of roads in that park. But again, being the only park within the city, we're looking at, doing tarmacking of those roads because I don't see we're within the city and we're still doing the maraming and all that. We can leave the other parks outside to be maintained, to just have the marams and all that. But this one, because it's a premier park, we exploring at tarmacking the roads within so that we can make it easy to move around. Yes, it is at threat because of encroachment, and that's why we are working with the Minister of Lands and Housing so that we can solve some of these things. Actually, you realize that tourism, you cannot work alone. We have so many enablers, because in the issue of, in the area of tarmacking, we're working with the Minister of Transport. In the area of housing, encroachment, of course, we're working with the Minister of Lands. In the area of visas, we're working, and immigration, we're working with the Minister of Interior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure when you tarmac those roads, people with Subarus, you know, they like to drive very fast.
Yes.
So watch out, huh?
We will put signage, the animals crossing signages and all that. Yes, and CCTV, and we will also regulate in terms of the speed within the park.
10 kilometers.
Thank you.
Freddie Matiba says, ask Madam CS why they are not marketing historical sites such as Shaka Ruins, Wanawali Saba, and Ungwana wa Masha, found in Tana River County. Wow, I didn't even know.
Actually, I'm very happy for that question. And I want to comment that, you know, culture was with sports. It has just been moved in January. And so we're going to do a lot of marketing because, as I said, culture is the next in thing in tourism.
Yeah.
And so we're going to market a lot of this. But why we've not reached in terms of Tana River County is what I said. We've now begun the process of mapping and working with every county, the 47 counties, so that we can map the products that they have and then now begin packaging them and marketing them.
Nice, very good. Okay, Matiba, stay tuned for that. Joe wa Hotels, okay. Kindly ask the CS, what's the plan for the failed Kenya Safari Hotel and Lodges, and if capable hotel operators can get a lease? The failed Kenya Safari Hotels.
Well, again, I don't know which Safari Hotels, but I guess it's KSLH Hotels. Okay. Of course, they've not failed. They went down, but we've already put measures to see them, back to live again and having tourist streaming. Personally, I've visited quite a number, and Mombasa Beach is one of the hotels that I've visited. It had gone down, but I realized when I was there, it was an issue of fresh water, because they didn't have fresh water. Right. So I worked with the governor of Mombasa, and he has already opened the line for the hotel. And actually the hotel is back to life. Sunset Hotel is come back to life. And of course, what else did he ask?
About two operators.
The
operators. The lease. Oh, the lease.
Yes. There are quite a number of other hotels within our parks, and of course we'll be releasing, we'll be advertising for leases. So that is coming.
Pwachirap says, hi Jeff, kindly ask our good CS if she is aware there's a lake in Nyandarua County, which years back had many tourists visiting, but no more. If she is aware of its existence, what plans does she have to revamp tourism activities there? For it has great potential. I didn't know that. In Nyandarua County, there's a lake.
Yeah, and I'm happy to hear these products that are all over in the counties. And that's why I'm saying that I'm working with the governors so that we can do the mapping of the products that they have. And we do circuits within those markets. And I will be marketing a county, because there are quite a number of networking that these governors are doing when they go for these conferences. Yeah. And a particular tourist is interested in visiting Nyandarua and not even Masai Mara. And therefore, we're going to open these counties so that we don't have only one spot like Mombasa and Nairobi Park and Masai Mara. I know Kenya is known for those three spots, but we're going to open it up. As much as it has 47 counties, we are opening the country to the tourists, and we'll track the numbers flowing in these counties.
Yeah, a lot of potential, huh? A lot of potential. Mohammed Hersi, former tourism. Every country has a docket for tourism and a budget to boot. CS should reach out to counties and urge them to work as blocks. They currently spreading themselves thin, wasting hard to get funds. Great Lakes counties, Jumla, Pwani, North Rift, et al. Blocks. You agree with that? That, counties can...
Of course, I agree with that, but the beginning point is not the block. If we want to maximize the potential of this country, we must look at each county and the products that they have. And first, you do a circuit of that particular county. And then you integrate it into the circuits of the blocks that we have. So they're already doing the blocks, I know. But when it comes to touristic site, because we want to empower every county, and I can tell you this is one news that Kenyans will accept, because no county would want to be put in block, and then you begin visiting Taita while they're in Costa province and you're not visiting their place. Yeah. So we have to develop each county, because like a menu for food, even the tourists have appetite and preferences, so they will choose what they want to feed on. And so, and one of the areas that I'm working out is the area of cultural festivals, because each county is doing a cultural festival. And we want to do what you're calling a calendar of these cultural festivals, and we map them together. We have 45 tribes in this country. We have 47 counties, and of course give each county to be doing a cultural festival. Those are 47 cultural festivals. What I'm going to do is what Zambia has done. They come up with a calendar of these cultural festivals. Zambia has 72 tribes, and they are all doing their cultural festivals. So what Zambia has done is to come up with a calendar. You can get in the month of March, like we have today, we have like 10 that are doing cultural festivals. And it's a matter of now projecting that menu to our tourists out in UK, in US, and they can choose which county they can go, depending on their choices and preference.
Very good. Very good. One more. R. Mukonzi. R. Mukonzi says, congratulations, CS Malonza, on the instant impact you are having on this ministry. The increased revenue from few tourists is quite commendable.
Thank you.
Well done, Madam CS, well done. Quality, not quantity.
Yes.
But then, you hear of places like Madrid or Barcelona, Paris.
Yes.
They get 40, 50 million tourists a year.
Yes. And of course, I have a projection for this country. Of course, we have a tourism research institute that guides us on the projection, and that's how they guided me into, releasing the new report. They're the ones who do the research. And so we have also that projection. As we map these counties, as we come out with more products, as we prepare the country, both in the infrastructure. And when I talk about infrastructure here, it's not roads. I'm talking about these historical sites, the museums. And allow me to talk about a museum that have been accused, especially by citizens.
Go on, by us.
The Bob Marley Museum.
Yes.
I visited. And I want to tell the Kenyans I visited, and I'm very proud to have visited that museum. You know why? Because Heroes Council is under me. And the other day we just saw the cries that our heroes are doing in this country. We saw the president clear the bill of the wife of... Yes. And that is a family that should not be suffering at this moment. When we talk of what Dedan Kimathi did to this country, why I visited that museum was just to find out on the model that they were using, which is different from the way museums are run in this country. And when I went there, I realized every penny that is coming out of that museum is taking care of the family. It's going straight to the family. How many heroes do we have in this country? Joseph Munyao from Machakos, who died the other day, very poor, and in a lot of agony. We have quite a number of our heroes in this country who should not be suffering, because what we need to do is to go back to their counties or wherever they are staying and do a museum for them and narrate the story of this great man who sacrificed their life for this nation. And we'll have people visit. Personally, I visited there. I paid $25 just for a visit, and you're taken through, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what, it's a small room like this one. And of course, I paid $25 that went straight to the family. Yeah. And so for me, I saw that there was a lot of, critiquing why I visited. But I want to face the Kenyans today and tell them Peninah Malonza is a minister for tourism, for wildlife, for culture, and for heritage. And I cannot pursue tourism and wildlife and neglect culture. Yet it is the in thing in this country. And if this country has to change, then we must embrace paradigm shift in terms of thinking, in terms of where to get money. And that's why I'm saying, actually, we need to begin even exporting labor. We have very educated Kenyans with so many degrees. There are no jobs in this country. We can export that labor in the countries that really want and are in demand of the labor. And therefore, I'm saying I pursue that because I want to change the narrative of museums and historical sites in this country, so that I can have those families taken care. Because I'm in Heroes Council, but then their families, their children, their grandchildren, they are really suffering. Yet we can do something by the story, by telling the story of the family and the deceased who sacrificed for this nation, like Tomboya. You know, we have a small museum in Rusinga for him. Murumbi, we have one right here, and we can duplicate all this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Tell me, were they playing his music in the museum?
Yes, they do.
Throughout?
And a little bit of smoking. Because it's their life. Let me tell you, culture is the way of life.
Yes.
And I want to tell Kenyans, do not be ashamed of your culture. If you used to do some things that look like they are weird, of course we want to learn about what was the meaning of you doing that. Of course, by the fact that I went there, I didn't become a reggae, love. Of course, I learned about One Love, which I didn't know. And for me, it was good because I didn't know One Love. But somehow I saw that written somewhere, and I asked, what was this One Love? And of course, I heard some of the songs that he sang. Yeah. But of course, I saw the weed. Mm-hmm. I was taken and I was shown the types. I didn't have interest in that. What I had interest in was a model of telling the story of our Kenyan heroes.
And lots of tourists go there.
And a lot of tourists is one of, I think it's the major museum in that country. I don't think there's any other museum in that country that is seeing such flow. There isn't actually, because I tried to ask the minister. Yeah.
Amazing. The Bob Marley Museum.
But allow me also to comment that why I went to Jamaica actually was to debate about these disruptions that come in the tourism industry, hospitality industry. We saw COVID come. We are now in a drought period, and we are seeing a lot. We saw also earthquake in Turkey, and it's actually disrupting the whole industry. And we congregated there because UN has already declared a Global Tourism Resilience Day, 17th of February every year. We congregate together and we come up with resilience measures so that we can absorb these shocks that are coming. Some are, catastrophes, others are planned, others are human-made, like what we are experiencing currently, the climate change. Is an activity of humans. So we are saying that we need to prepare ourselves so that if we, in future, we have these disruptions, then we can rebound back to the industry in terms of numbers and revenue.
Absolutely. Madam CS, got maybe a minute or two to go. I'll give you some closing thoughts going forward.
Yes.
Go on. What do you tell Kenyans?
Well, Kenyans, I want to tell them that they support this ministry. You know why? Because you've just told me countries like Netherlands, countries like Dubai, they were mining oil. The other day they stopped mining and they are now in tourism. And what is sustaining the economy of Dubai is actually tourism. And let me tell you, Kenyans, we have an easy way of going and getting money in this country. We already have an heritage that is given by God, the wildlife, the formation of our land. You go to Western Kenya, you'll hear the crying stones. and so many places. We have a lot that we can sell to the nations and earn a lot of revenue to this country. And probably because we depend on rain-fed agriculture, probably this one will also relieve us from a lot of struggles in the area of agriculture.
Absolutely. Well, we can only wish you the very best, Madam CS.
Thank you.
I see you've added culture to this whole docket of yours, huh?
Yes.
Tourism, wildlife, culture, heritage.
Yes.
Good Lord. When do you sleep?
I sleep. It's a matter of, being strategic. And you have little time to sleep and, of course, little time to work. Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
CS for Tourism, Wildlife, Culture and Heritage, Peninah Malonza on the bench tonight. I hope you learned as much as I did tonight. So many secrets out there in Kenya that need discovering. Let's talk about it. Let's promote our counties all the way.